Okay, next game I'm playing Jeffrey Quirke, but it's Quirke with an E at the end, which I assume isn't pronounced. And I had the white pieces, and his USCF rating was like 2140. We played at Cambridge Springs, and in the Cambridge Springs, Black placed Queen A5, which, I used to know pretty well. But he played a different line I've never seen before, and a lot of grandmasters play it. I just don't know it. Carlsen's played it. Played H6, a move I don't know. Then G5. He's playing very quickly. This is all his prep. And then Knight H5. And, there's grandmaster games in this line. I just don't know anything. Engine wants me to play Bishop E5, but it says Bishop D3 is fine. And G4 is a novelty. Nobody's ever played that. Bishop G7 was played in some grandmaster games. Engine wants me to play Knight H4, but I'm not playing Knight H4. I don't like my knight on H4. I played Knight D2. Engine says white's slightly better. Now it says it's equal. The game's sort of boring. We don't do very much. I thought I was better here. Objectively, Engine says I'm not better. It says equal. Now it says I'm slightly better if I take on D5. I don't think I ever considered. Doesn't like F3 so much. Says it's equal. Never play F3. E5 is super complicated. So we went from a boring position where we're moving our pieces around doing nothing, and then I played F3 and he played E5. Now all the pawns can capture each other all over the board. Engine says I'm slightly better if I take on D5. Right? Took on E5. Now it says it's equal again. It says this is all equal. It says these moves are all good. It's just equal. Okay, now he made a mistake. Oh no, he didn't make a mistake here. It was next move. Played H5, which is a good move. Rooks, and now he made a mistake. He should basically play any king move that's not the king move he played. King B8, King B6, equal. Play King D6. Now, white's better in this opposite bishop endgame because he has a lot of weak pawns. Okay, and then in this position, H4 is a mistake, and I should play E4. And it says I'm much better. It says G takes H4, I'm slightly better. I didn't do any of that. I played bishop takes G4, I'm still slightly better. Bishop F3, so my G pawn's defended, D pawn is weak. Rook C8, Engine says I'm much better here. Doesn't like E4 so much. Wants me to play Rook D3, and then double the rooks and put more pressure on D5. So in this position, when I was playing the game, and if you're looking at the times, I have an hour, 20 minutes left, and he has 20 minutes left. So I was an hour ahead on the clock. In this position, I thought he should play King E6. Engine doesn't play King E6. My opponent didn't play King E6. So when I analyzed the game, I put King E6 in the Engine, and it suggested a move I didn't see because I'm too old. And the Engine actually put, you're too old, is Dina, which is misspelled, Danya's girlfriend. No, it's not a secret anymore. Dina is Peter Giannatos's girlfriend. It used to be a secret. I knew about it, but you guys didn't. And then they made it not a secret a few months ago. And they actually live together. There's actually a lot of chess couples that I know about that you guys don't, and I have to ask if it's a secret, and usually it's a secret. So I can't tell you stuff that you want to know. And I couldn't tell you about Dina and Peter when they first started going out because it was a secret. Then they told me it wasn't a secret. Now I can tell you. They tell people too that Dina had a stream where she like introduced Peter as her boyfriend. I mean, like, it's very public. Danya is not dating Eric Rosen. Okay, so I was hoping you guys could explain the right move, but nobody did. That makes me feel better. This position, I thought he would play king e6, but I just played bishop takes d5 check, which I didn't see. And then he can't take it because I play f5 check and I take his rook. That's pretty good. Okay, so he played king c7, which is fine. I played f5, which is correct. I'm slightly better. d4 is correct. e6 is correct. fe is correct. The engine says taking either way is the same. I took with the f pawn. Black played king d8. So I'm finally up a pawn, although it looks pretty drawn. Played king e7. Rook d3 is the right move. Then in this position, I thought he would play rook e5, but the engine says his move is better. So can't really say he made a mistake. I played the best move, bishop a6. I want to play b3 and bishop c4. And if he takes on e6, I can take on g3 because his bishop's pinned. Play rook h5. The engine says I should play rook f3 here. Played b3. Now it says rook f5 is all zeros. Played here. Now I'm very slightly better. Now it's equal again. And in this position, black should play rook f5 and rook f2. The engine says it's equal. It says white's not better. I am a pawn up, but he's got too much counterplay. So he played rook f5. That's correct. I played rook e2. He can't play rook f2 because I take his bishop. I thought he would play rook f1 check, king c2, rook f2, and trade rooks. But engine says it's all zeros. Bishop f6, all zeros. And rook e5 is a terrible move. And now the engine says I'm winning. It says the rook and bishop ending is a draw, and the bishop ending is a win. And then it says we both play the bishop ending terrible. Every move terrible. Now in this position, I have an hour and 10 minutes left, and he has 2 minutes and change. Okay, b4 is correct. Now it says b5 is completely winning. a4 is also winning. Now it says b5 is +4. I played a5. Now I'm only +3. Okay. King d3 is correct. So far, I've played fine in the bishop ending. Okay, now I have to play b5 and I'm +5. Also, I could play king c2. So I played bishop b3, so I stop his pawn, and I want to move my king up, and b5, and, so forth. Still winning. King c6. Now I made a terrible move. It says bishop c4 is +5. I played king c4. Now it says the game is a draw, and we agreed after the game that he now played the losing move, when in fact he played the only move that draws. So neither one of us understood this endgame. Played a6. That's the best move. I played bishop c2. Played king d6. I played bishop d3. He played king takes e6. I played king b3. And I had no doubt I was winning. None. And Engine says this is a draw because when I win his A pawn, it's a draw. And the easiest way to draw is to play C2 and get rid of his pawn. And after I take this pawn and take this pawn, the engine says that ending's a draw. He played king d6. Now I'm winning again. Now c2 doesn't draw. I'd have to analyze it with an engine for like an hour, and then I would understand it. Or I could get somebody 2,800 plus to explain it. Magnus would just explain why c2 was a draw and now it loses. I got nothing. I would have to spend like my whole life trying to understand why this is winning for white, and if my king was on c2 and his bishop was on e7, it's a draw. Okay, king c7, bishop d3. Yeah, now it says I'm plus 1,000. So maintaining his c pawn with his bishop gives him no counterplay against my queenside pawns, so I just queen them. He has to get rid of his pawn so his bishop can go to e7 and d8 and e1 and use his bishop to stop me from queening. Yeah, now it's too late. Too late. I thought it was always winning because I thought the best he could do is sack his bishop for these two pawns. Then I win. I got this pawn. What's the problem? But he didn't get that far. And here he resigned because I'm queening with check and it's checkmate now. So when the game ended, we both agreed in this position a6 was the losing move. Turns out a6 is the only move that draws. And that in this position, he should play c2 or bishop e7, and he's drawing. Needs to play bishop e7, move his king over here, give me this pawn, and it says I can't win. I don't know why I can't win. It says I can't win. I was playing instantly, thinking I was winning, and then I won easily. So when the game ended, I thought, I'm great. And then the engine said, you suck. But I had over an hour left, and he had 10 seconds when the game ended.